Hello everyone, Joe here from Draft FPL and welcome to a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups in Draft FPL. I've done a whole load of content in the run up to GW17, so if you've missed any of that, make sure you go and check it out. I've done team previews on every single team in the league, including what players are injured, what players are going to potentially go up in value, down in value, fixtures, everything. I've also done an updated draft rankings, which you can find on the channel as well. So go and check that out after you've finished this video, of course. I'm so excited for the Premier League to get going again. Game week 17 is here, and it never really feels real until we get stuck into the waiver picks. So let's just go straight into it. As always, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy these videos, hit that thumbs up button. There's links down below for other ways you can support the channel. On to our first waiver pick today, and that is Lindelof of United. Available in 96% of Draft FPL leagues. It looks like Martinez and Varane are both going to miss out this first game for United. Dalot also has a little bit of an injury doubt as well, so that's something to keep an eye on. But Forest at home, even with a depleted backline, is a fantastic fixture. So I'm big on the stand-in United defenders. Lindelof, also Maguire as well. I think Lindelof slightly ahead, but Maguire is probably going to be an option as well because Varane is definitely out. Martinez looks unlikely to play as well. The reason I slightly prefer Lindelof as well is I think he's probably more likely to get at least 2 or 3 games in. And look at those fixtures. Forest at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home. They're going to be top of the clean sheet percentages for the next few weeks. And I think getting in a United defender now is great value. Next up, we've got a little bit more of a punt. It's Doherty of Spurs, currently available in 77% of draft leagues, and that ownership percentage, as always, is courtesy of draftfc.co.uk, who analyse everything Draft FPL. There's a link down below in the description for that as well. Looking at Doherty specifically, I think there is always the chance that he misses out. We could see Emerson on the right and potentially Perisic on the left. I think that's unlikely. I think Doherty is more than likely to start at least Brentford away, but he has been performing really well in the friendlies over the break. It looks like he has the shirt at the time of recording. We may get a bit more info in the press conferences coming up, but I think there's a decent chance Doherty starts away to Brentford, and we know how attacking he can be in those good fixtures. And look at the 4 game weeks they've got coming up: Brentford away, Villa at home, Palace away, and then a double game week, albeit a tough double game weeks, Arsenal at home, City away, but still worth taking some Spurs assets into that game week as well. Next up, we've got Patterson of Everton, available in 96% of draft leagues. Back, fully fit now. He looks like Lampard's preferred choice at right back or right wing back. And I think he's a really talented young lad as well. This week, the fixture's Wolves at home, which is absolutely brilliant. Even under new management, I think Wolves are going to be a very stoic defensive team, which looks like a good opportunity for defenders playing against them. It's City away in 18, which is obviously tough. You don't really want to start anyone in that. But if you can afford to bench him for that week, you've then got Brighton at home, Saints at home, both really good fixtures too. On to midfielders next then, and first up I've got Solly March, available in 80% of leagues. His underlying numbers are absolutely phenomenal, which kind of throws in the face of his actual point output so far, but some of the chances he's been getting are absolutely ridiculous. Brighton are going to be a really attacking unit, and Solly March looks like he's going to be playing either on the right of the 3 behind the forward or on that right wing back slot. I don't think it makes too much difference either way to his attacking output, but he does get in the box a lot. He has a lot of chances, creates a lot as well, and I think there are definitely attacking returns in his future. Brighton's fixtures are a little bit tough, mainly because their home fixtures are against quite strong opposition, but their away fixtures are a little bit more favourable, which does lend itself to sort of a trickier run. But Saints away, Everton away in 17 and 19 are both decent opportunities, and also you do expect Brighton to score in most home games. So when you look at it like that, I do expect them to score at least a goal or 2 in each of the next 4, and Solly March may well be involved. Next up, we've got one of the usual suspects in the waiver video, someone that comes in and out of my teams constantly. That man is Olise of Palace. I think he's just the perfect amount of value where he's often on the waivers, comes in for a week or two when the fixtures look good, and then goes straight out again. Available in 76% of draft leagues, kind of reflects that, I think. But 17 and 18, Fulham at home, Bournemouth away, 2 fixtures to absolutely target from an attacking perspective, 2 pretty weak defences. 17, Fulham cannot defend really, they don't even try. And 18, Bournemouth have improved a bit over the sort of previous 10 game weeks, but it looks like Neto will still be out for a couple of game weeks. So with Travers in goal, I do fancy attackers playing against Bournemouth a little bit more. So those 2 fixtures are really nice. Then it gets pretty tough over the next 5 or 6 after that. So I think it's fair to say you can drop Olise after that. But I think for these 2 fixtures, he's a really, really good pick. I'd also look at Eze if he's free as well, but his ownership percentage is way, way, way higher. Obviously Zaha as well, but he's owned in basically every league. Eze, I think, is the better pick for sure if he's free, but he, as I said, is picked in, I think he's only free in about 20% of leagues. Next up, we've got Elliott of Liverpool. We all know about Liverpool's kind of injury problems to Diaz and Jota, and that does open the door, I think, for Harvey Elliott. I think more than likely we're going to see kind of a midfield diamond with Salah and Diaz as like wide forwards, Firmino in that false 9 role, and then I think probably Elliott maybe left centre mid or right centre mid with probably Thiago and Fabinho in midfield. So I think Elliott is actually a pretty good pick. He's going to be playing quite an attacking role in that team. Available in 83% of leagues. The fixtures are pretty good. 3 away games out of the next 4 isn't ideal, but they are all decent fixtures. Villa away, probably without Emi Martinez, which is a big miss for Villa. Brentford away in 19 is okay, and Brighton away in 20 is okay as well. Leicester at home in 18 is a bit trickier, but I think from an attacking perspective, I think all 4 of these fixtures are good enough that it's a decent time to take a punt on someone like Harvey Elliott, who has been, his underlying stats are pretty good when he's played. It's just trying to pick the game weeks that he's definitely going to start. I think he's going to start in this one in 17 at least. So we may get a bit more info. I'm recording this before the Carabao Cup game, so we should get an idea in that as well. If it looks like he's going to start, I think he's a really strong pick. On to forwards then, and the absolute most no-brainer forward waiver of your life. If you've got any kind of bottom tier forward, if you've got the likes of Welbeck, if you've got Johnson, if you've got Mbeumo, Antonio, even Armstrong, Alvarez, Bamford, I would bin all of these for Eddie Nketiah. I think he's definitely going to start the next few. Arsenal may sign a striker in January, but I'm not convinced we will. We may try Martinelli up front again. I think that'll only happen in the latter stages of games. I think for the most part, Eddie Nketiah is going to be starting up front, and that to pick an Arsenal striker off the waivers is unbelievable value. So the fixtures are tough. West Ham at home is pretty good. Brighton away, I think, is decent from an attacking point of view. Newcastle at home is tough. Tottenham away is obviously a tricky fixture, but there are normally goals in that game. So I just think it's a no-brainer. I don't think, unless you've got 3 great forwards, I think this is an absolute steal of a waiver. And if you don't think you can get Nketiah, my next best option for this week is Adam Armstrong, available in 64% of leagues. Saints kind of didn't really impress in their first game under new management in the Carabao Cup. Winning 2-1 at home to Lincoln is not exactly blowing the doors off, but it was a victory at least. Adam Armstrong did start up front alongside Che Adams, who I think is definitely the superior pick, but he is very, very highly owned. Available in 64% of leagues, as I said, is pretty good. So if you've got a non-playing forward and you need someone for this week, I don't think he's a terrible option. The fixtures are really good as well. That's kind of the other side of it. Brighton at home, Fulham away, Forest at home, Everton away is like a dream 4 set of fixtures. You can't really ask for much better than that. And it carries on beyond that as well. They've got a really good run for quite a while. So if Adam Armstrong can nail down his place in that run, I do expect a few attacking returns, which from a third forward in Draft FPL, especially in bigger leagues, you can't really ask for too much more than that. Okay, then that wraps up my picks for game week 17. Obviously, I'm recording this before press conferences, before the City-Liverpool Carabao Cup game, so I don't have all the info, but this is as close as I can get. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video, join the Patreon if you want to get involved. I've also done a load more videos in the run up to this, so make sure you go to the channel and make sure you've caught up on the team previews, the draft rankings, everything like that. Thank you all for watching. Have a great Christmas, and we will see you next time.